most people will never understand what the other person goes through. In fact, studies have shown that between 13 and 14% of college students are actually homeless. This is a story that goes beyond what the average person sees. The struggle,
In college, I was at some point homeless.
the pain,
So I felt like a burden.
and the strength to
I always knew I
overcome.
was a student that was rising at Savannah State University.
Hi, my name is Charmaine Williams, and I was a homeless college student. I became homeless. I was living in Virginia, and I had lost my apartment, and I had nobody to stay with in Virginia, so I moved here, and I was staying with my sister and my brother-in-law, and then he's in the military, and he got stationed in North Carolina, so I had to find someplace else to stay. Emotionally, it made me feel like a burden to the people that I was staying with at the time. Jumping place to place, especially jumping place to place because, I wasn't at one place the whole time until I got myself a place. I was at 3 different places the whole time. I got myself together, emotionally of course, because I wasn't in the right state of mind. So, I got back on my praying and I just kept being positive. Thankfully, I found somebody who was willing to roommate with me to get an apartment. That way I wouldn't have to save up too much or only be able to work enough just to pay rent by myself. So, that was a good part.
Sometimes, homelessness within our college community can be a choice in which is out of our control. And master student Shanitris Leonard is an example of that.
Well, my name is Shanitris Leonard. I was an undergraduate and I pursued a bachelor's in mass communication. My concentration was audio video, minor theater, and I'm now pursuing my master's in public administration, and I was a victim of homelessness because my mom was unemployed. So I stayed in vacant units. I stayed in, with friends. I stayed in cars, and it was a very tough journey. And once I graduated from Savannah State University, I came to a dysfunctional home, so I had to leave that home and kind of enroll. From there, it became a choice. Homelessness then became a choice. My experience at the shelter home, it was like a movie, like I discussed. It was different characters to me. Women that overcame meth. Was a young girl. She ran away from home, so she stayed in the shelter home. It was a lot of white women, like trailer park type, redneck type of women. They stayed there. It was older women, elderly women. One of the elderly women, she knocked at my door. I had to take a shower because I was basically robbed out of my purse, $100. And I didn't think that she was still out of my purse, but she took that 100 out of my purse. But look at me now. I'm in my master's program. But it just shows that doing wrong ain't gonna get you nowhere. Cause I don't know if she's still there, but it was an experience. But it was like a church house. So I think that what made me feel kind of like comfortable in a sense, because it was like, there was 5 women to one room, but I was able, they gave me special privileges because I went to Savannah State. So it just shows that even when you do pursue a dream or goal and have to get into a predicament, maybe people treat you a little better. My journey and my experience, it's just, I don't want to get too sappy about it, but I just know that I overcame it.
Sometimes, in order to survive through college, you will go through situations that you would never think of. And the story of Rashad Ramsey is no different.
Hi, my name is Rashad Ramsey, and for a certain period of my college matriculation, I was homeless. It was really more so like a displacement of housing at the time, and last minute decisions leading to me trying to figure out my life and trying to figure out where I was going. And it just so happened to end up like that. I graduated from college and decided to take on life how I should and move to another state and got an apartment with my cousin. Things in the job avenue weren't as foreseeable as I would have wanted to be. And I moved to a state on trying to take a leap of faith, and it just went south. And when I decided that it was time for me to go back to school, I kind of had to go back to school in the middle of a semester, starting in a mini-mester, and I didn't have a stable place to live from August to October of 2017. I went from my friend's apartment to on campus, sleeping on another student's couch. I'm not really gonna elaborate on the people, but luckily I have friends who were able to assist me in my time of need until I could do for myself. I never seen myself like living from couch to couch, as people would say it, due to the fact of, coming from a family in which are very, fiscally responsible. It was more so like a pride issue for me rather than anything else. Like, I kind of feel like I went from having so much to having nothing in a short period of time, and then having to work my way back up. So, I felt out of place. It felt weird. It felt like I had nothing or no one. But it was more so my pride and me and the issues of me swallowing my pride and asking for help rather than,
Sometimes being homeless can cause many problems within most universities and colleges in the United States.
My name is Christian Stokes, and I serve as a resident hall director in the University System of Georgia. My profession, we deal with a lot of homeless students when it comes to, sometimes we call it wildcatting or squatting, which means they're staying illegally with somebody that resides in our facility. So usually when we catch it, sometimes it doesn't mean that it's a judicial case. Sometimes they actually need help. And then we get to the bottom of it, like, why you keep staying on your friend's couch? Like, why you just don't go home? And then sometimes we find out that actually they don't have anywhere to go.
The situations are not all bad, as there are professionals who can provide students with better resources.
Okay, my name is Desmond Stowe, and I'm the Director of Student Life at Savannah State University. Students come with their own hardships. So they come from different walks of life. They come from family. Some of them have families themselves, so some of them come as parents. Some of them have hardships as coming from single family homes, so maybe a single mother, a single father, or grandparents. We even have some students who are wards of the state that they come and they don't really necessarily have a home per se, and so there are a lot of hardships that come with being a student, and so we have to take all that into consideration when you're talking about having a good student life or providing a student life for students on campus. We have a lot of students who come with different things, but in particular the homeless students. We do have a resource pantry here, kind of a resource pantry closet for students who identify as being homeless.
The STAR program is an excellent program that provides students with services that can help them in their everyday needs.
My name is Rakina Golden, and I work in the Student STAR Pantry. The pantry consists of food, hygiene products, clothing. It really consists of your basic needs in life. What we consider homeless are mainly the people who sleep on their friend couches, who, when it comes at nighttime, don't have a place to stay or a place to actually bathe. So that is what we consider homeless. For instance, let's say you go to school here. We do have a few people who actually had an apartment and they couldn't keep up with the payments, so they got kicked out, got evicted, and they come to campus and they stay with one of their friends. That's what we consider homeless, because if somebody walks in there, where are they going to go? And that's a fine on their account that they can't pay at the moment, which would block them from getting their classes that they need, getting registered, and also continuing to the next semester.
Actually, disability and counseling services at mostly every university in Georgia, public or private, that's in the university system in Georgia, you could go to them. But each, I think it's 4 times out the year in different parts of Georgia, different schools come together to go over their outreach program, and that's for homeless and foster students. So I know the one in Savannah is called the STAR program, where they team up with Goodwill and the Salvation Army, and they provide products, and it helps the homeless student get on their feet and get them jobs and clothes and anything that they need. But if they want to get in contact with anybody, they need to go to disability or counseling.